All right, welcome to the first ever Dungeon Guild of Geek News Now. I want to thank all of my players for being here this evening. Real quick, going to get some business out of the way right up front. We are coming to you live on Facebook and YouTube, so wherever you're watching us from, thank you for watching, being a part of the stream, and watching us play Dungeons and Dragons. On that note, I'm going to start introducing our players. Playing Talken Craterjew, the fighter, the half-orc fighter, is Cameron, which Cameron is, everybody here is from GNN. Cameron is Cam in Focus on YouTube. So representing our YouTube AV team is Cameron. This is also Cameron's first time ever playing Dungeons and Dragons, which I've known Cam a long time, so it's hard to believe this is his first time. So this is going to be fun. Next to him, we have Cargath. Cargath is being played by David, who's with our social media team. They're responsible for getting all the content out on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and promoting the articles on the website. So thank you, David, for joining us. He is playing Kargath, the Orc Paladin. Playing Skomira, the Dwarven Ranger, is Kat. Kat is with our Literary Legion, part of the team, and actually she's second in command of operating the Literary Legion, responsible for getting articles up on the website. We have almost 700 articles over on geeknewsnow.net, and Kat and the literary team are responsible for getting all of those up. And joining us, last but not least, you may know her as Wolf Angel over on our Twitch channel, GNN_gaming, but joining us tonight playing Airi, the Tiefling Rogue pirate, is Becky. And I am your host this evening and Dungeon Master. I am Devin. I am with the literary team as well as the gaming team over on Twitch, but tonight I am the all-knowing, merciless God of your universe. So, all right. So our game, little bit of business left. I want to talk real quick about, we have a couple partners. First off, Metallic Dice Games. Anybody who's played D&D, goes into a comic book shop a lot, buys dice, you're familiar with Metallic Dice Games. We are friends with the wonderful people over at Metallic Dice Games. And we have a promo code, and later on in the show, so stick around. Not just for the show, but also for what we have coming up. We're going to have a commercial that's going to talk about all of our promotions that we have going on. But myself, Becky, and I think one or two other players tonight are using dice from Metallic Dice Games. So special thank you to them for the promo code and our partnership there. Root Energy Drink. You will see me sipping on this throughout the night. Root Energy, root-users.com. There are some friends of ours as well, based in California. It is they call it a nootropic energy drink. It doesn't have a lot of caffeine. It's only like 1 cup of coffee, like 64 milligrams. It's not a lot. It's not crazy. Doesn't crash you out. If you like ginger flavored things, that's the stuff. Kat has been joined by her cat.
Yeah. Actually, his name is Minsk.
Hi, Minsk.
From Minsk and Boo. Say hi.
Yeah, so we have get that flirkin out of here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna play the intro, and then we're gonna jump right into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. All right. So, my iPad goes to sleep on me. All of our players tonight received a letter. A letter was sealed and delivered to each of them, telling them to come to a certain town, to a certain place. I will let each of you introduce who you are as you arrive, starting with our first arrival into the Laughing Crow Tavern in the town of Yaren. our half-orc fighter.
Well, it's been a long time coming. I journeyed a long time to get here. This had better be worth it. My name's Talken Craterjew. I'm looking for the bimbo who summoned me here. Don't waste my time because it is valuable. I got a lot of things to do, most of it better than what you got.
You come in and take your place. The room that you walk into, the upper room of the Laughing Crow, it's a modest room, large enough for a few people. There's a table, round table, wooden table in the middle of the room, some chairs around. You take your place and you sit at the table. Also in the room, you see over in the corner, there's another table that's draped with a very crude, dirty-looking cloth, and that's really about it that's in the room. Lamplight adorns the walls. Next to walk in is our Orc Paladin.
I'm Cargath Bloodscream, Paladin of the Morning Lord Lathander. Hopefully, the person who summoned me is here. I'll be sorely disappointed if they are not.
Begrudgingly, you come over, and being an orc and slightly larger than the half-orc fighter, you kind of take some room and sit down. Next to walk in is our Dwarven Ranger.
Aye. So, it's an adventure. I'm not sure exactly why they called on me, but as long as he's got ale and coin, let's see what he's got.
Sitting yourself kind of next to this much larger orc, you very confidently sit and wait. And last, but certainly not least, to walk into the room is our Tiefling Rogue.
All right, everyone. I'm Airi. I'm going to be able to help with this adventure. It's going to be a whole bunch of, like, kicking butt, right? That's what we're supposed to do. Help this person, I guess. There's supposed to be some gold, I think. So, I guess, hi.
Shortly after, Airi comes in and places herself at the seat, kind of bouncing, excited. Yay, it's an adventure! In walks a female halfling, standing only about 5'1", short cut hair, olive-colored skin, bright eyes, very humble-looking robes with a golden, very tarnished amulet hanging around her neck. Walks in and shuts the door behind her. Thank you all for coming. I am Taya, and I sent out many letters to heroes of renown such as yourself by way of UPS, the United Pigeon Service. and only you have answered. My master, Friar Tomlinson, is trapped in the Garrowek Forest, a land filled with aggressive fey creatures. Friar Tomlinson is a cleric, a druid of sorts, and he thought it would be a good idea to travel to the woods and bring the word of our God to the creatures within. She kind of steps back and picks up the medallion that hangs around her neck and says a small prayer into it, and when it hangs back down, it kind of turns over, and you see that the emblem on the medallion is the same as the seal that was used in the wax of the letters you received. I have made the same arrangement he made to travel all of you there, for you cannot enter this place naturally. But once you are there, you will have to find your own way back. Take these emblems to wear around your neck, so the friar may know that I was the one who sent you. And she kind of opens and reaches into a pouch inside of her cloak and pulls out these emblems that are identical to the one that she herself wears around her neck and hands one to each of you.
Is there iron in these?
As a dwarf, you would have, as a mountain dwarf, you would certainly be able to tell looking. They are not. They are tarnished bronze and gold. Kind of a mixture, very crudely made from kind of not pure metals at all, but just to kind of hold it together, give it some value, but very humble.
Aye.
Only question I have is, can I use it as a weapon?
You see, I this is how the Friar will know that I was the one who sent you. I mean, I suppose you could, but I don't know how effective it would be against the creatures of the Fae. And she walks over to the table with the shabby cloth and reaches underneath and pulls out the statue. Black antlers molded on top of it. Very, again, similar to the emblem and the wax seal, and sets it on the table in front of you, and it kind of this heavy thud as it sets down. Be wary. The creatures there are aggressive and dangerous, will probably attack you on sight. The woods are said to be quite mysterious and deadly. She stands back, and you see outstretched hands, kind of moves it like this. Golden light moves through her fingertips, starting from the base of the statue, almost like static lightning. White static lightning comes up across and starts dancing around the antlers. A faint hum as the statue vibrates ever so subtly on the table. Not moving, but it is almost as if it's alive itself. All of you, if you choose to accept this, must grab the statue at the same time. I can only do this once. I am not to the skill level of Friar Tomlinson. And once you grab the antler, you will be transported into the Gerwick Forest. She just kind of takes a step back.
Okay, so, on 3? So, right, 1, 2, 3.
As all of you grab it, the static lightning from the statue travels up your arms, across, starts working its way up your body, and as it crosses over your eyes, it's almost a blinding white light. It's not painful. Numbing to a degree, but not painful. It doesn't cause you any damage or pain. But a blinding light as it travels across your eyes, and when your vision clears, you find yourself standing in a clearing in the middle of the woods. Now, this clearing, you are surrounded on all sides by shrubs and trees, all very healthy. Sunlight comes through the leaves. It seems to be a very clear day. The grass is very healthy and lush. Lichen and moss grow on rocks nearby. And as you look around, you notice that as you start to look into the trees around you, the only way I can describe it is you lose focus. Things become harder to see and just out of focus until it vanishes into a white fog that seems to be surrounding the outer edge of the tree line beyond you. In front of you, what you would assume is probably north for reference sake, is what you can see is kind of a path, a place where the trees and the shrubs don't quite come together, but a wall of fog does completely block across. You cannot see through it. But that is the path, if you will, that you can tell.
I look around, gathering my bearings. The path then. Anyone see any other way?
I'm looking.
I approach the fogged path and reach out a hand to touch it.
Okay. Feels cool, like mist. Doesn't seem to harm you. Your hand passes easily into it as if pushing into a cloud.
Okay,
When you draw your hand back, there's a faint bit of moisture on your palm. But it doesn't seem to be harming you.
Cool. I'm literally going to start pushing the fighter through it.
This very short tiefling is trying to push these 9-foot-tall orcs through the fog.
Like, come on, let's go.
All right, so I'm going to go up next to the fighter and see if by chance, if it's dark enough for my dark vision to see anything.
No.
Okay.
It's still essentially light. It's like looking at a white cloud.
Okay.
So you're not, light doesn't seem to be obstruction, just your view.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I walk a little deeper into the fog to see if the moisture is thin enough to breathe in.
It is. Doesn't feel too hard or deep for you to take a breath in. Again, you feel moisture as if passing through a mist vapor. But as you walk in, you are completely enveloped by the fog. The others standing outside they see you basically just disappear into a cloud.
Are we now a party of 3?
Can you still hear us?
Yeah,
He can hear you.
Kind of wish I wasn't here all by myself, though.
Well, I mean, if he's not dead yet. And I follow him into the fog.
All right.
I as well.
So everyone into the fog.
Yeah, I'm like kind of skipping into it.
So just la-la-la-la-la-la. So
I'm
as
still sure, thank you very much.
as you pass into the fog, all of you are completely enveloped by the fog, but it doesn't take but more than what you would guess to be maybe 20 or 30 paces before the fog just seems to clear open in front of you. And all of you, and as one of you begins to come through, the fog almost retreats quickly behind the others. So now all of you find yourselves standing in another clearing. This clearing has 3 paths in front of you, one to your left, one in front, and one to your right. The path to your left appears even healthier than the ground you had seen before. Bright colored flowers of reds, yellows, and purples adorn all along the ground, butterflies in the air. You almost get this sense of health and strength from here. When you look in front of you, it looks very similar to where you just left. It's all green. Moss grows on rocks the side. And when you look to the right, it's as if death itself walked the land. The ground, for 10 feet in front of the path, is just dead and black, scorched almost. What you can see of the trees are dead leaves, broken and hanging. All 3 paths are blocked by what appears to be the same fog you just passed through.
Looks like a game of eeny, meeny, miny, moe. I trust none of those paths. Not in a place like this.
Nope.
I look around on the ground for a rock to throw down one of the paths.
Okay. You would find a few maybe pebbles kind of off to the side that maybe have broken off a rock or something very small you could hold in your hand. Sure.
And I'm going to go ahead and throw the rock that I find down the path to the left.
Down the path to the left, so the one with the flowers?
Yes.
Okay. Rock, as far as you can tell, passes through the fog. You do not hear anything on the other side.
I don't hear it land?
No.
Okay.
Much as how you were enveloped into the fog and the others could not see you, same thing with the rock. The moment it hit the fog, boom.
Okay. I don't know about you guys, but the left and the right paths seem like traps. One is overly nice, one is not so nice. I'm thinking the one in the middle.
Can I do a nature check?
Yeah, go ahead. Roll a d20, and you have proficiency in nature, if I'm not mistaken, as a ranger.
Yep.
Okay. And what is it you're specifically checking for with your nature check?
If the nature we're seeing
Is actual
nature.
Okay.
Well, that wasn't too productive.
7 with proficiency is that with proficiency?
10. With proficiency, that makes it a 10.
Makes it a 10. So as far as from what you can tell, what you're seeing is real. This is not illusion. As far as you can tell, the grass to your ranger senses, even with that roll, the grass to your ranger senses feels healthy and real. You can dig your hands into the dirt and pull up, and it's dirt. You can feel the moss on the rock, and it truly is moss growing on the rock. By all accounts, is what you can tell. The ground and what you around you is as real as you are.
I'm literally going to flip a coin. Heads, I follow the fighter down the middle path. Tails, I'm going to figure something else out. Okay, that's head. So I'll be following the fighter.
Okay, so Talken and Airi are going to take the middle path. Anyone else?
Well, I mean, if we've got two of them going, we might as well follow.
Never split up.
Okay. All four of you walk through. Much as before, the moment you touch the fog, it seems cool to the touch, light bit of dew on the armor as you walk through. And when you come to the other side, same as before, the fog retreats very rapidly behind you. However, the moss and the vines and the trees close behind you. You find yourself standing in another small clearing, not too large. The ground itself is covered by vines. The same trees and shrubs line the outer edge. And to the left is a path you can see. The way behind you is blocked.
How far off the path are the vines?
Covering the ground. All of what would be the clearing in another area of grass, the vines are just overgrowth.
Well, if they're just vines, then hopefully nothing happens when I poke it with my lance.
Okay. So you're just going to poke the vines with your lance. Okay. Talken, with your lance, reach down, poke the vines. At first, it seems to be nothing, until one vine wraps itself around the end of your lance and tries to pull back. Roll d20 and give me a strength check. So roll d20, add your strength modifier.
12.
12. And your strength modifier, I think, is a +1.
I believe it is, yeah.
13. Okay. You're fighting. It's... You pull it back. Your lance seems to be undamaged, but even you as the half-orc, you're fighting almost a living vine, just wrapping itself, coiling itself around and pulling.
Maybe not anger the forest.
The vine that you had poked retreats back and lays into the ground position and just lays itself back down.
All right.
I light my torch.
Which y'all has hedge trimmers?
Skomira's just going to burn down the forest. All right, Skomira lights a torch. You have a torch lit.
Forest fires. You know. I slowly step into the vines.
Okay. The vine, same vine, attempts to come up and wrap around your ankle. Both of your ankles. I need you to give me a dexterity check.
I have dexterities. Let me see here. Woohoo! All right. 18, 19, 21.
21. All right. You notice it, and you just your ranger senses as you go to place your boot down, you can feel, and maybe because part of you is expecting it from watching what happened with Talken's lance, you kind of feel the ground move, and you very quickly kind of start moving, and you kind of start high stepping to get through, and you find yourself kind of standing now on the other side of the vines.
Well, look at
You're
that.
now behind you. You kind of taste, and you're facing your compatriots here. Behind you is the path with the fog.
Well,
The others stand there looking at you, going, "I didn't know a dwarf could move like that."
We're full of surprises.
All right.
Well, we've seen you can make it through.
We just can't go back.
How wide is the area with the vines?
It covers the whole ground, so I would say it's a 10 by 10 area. What
Okay.
isn't covered is the immediate area you're standing in as you come through the fog, and the immediate area where Skomira is now standing, right in front of that path. But everything between you and her right now is overgrowth.
I would like to use my lance to vault myself over the vines.
Give me an athletics check. Same thing, D20, and any athletics modifier you have. That's
I am watching this for my sole entertainment at this point.
All right.
Airi is deciding how to loot your corpses when one of you fails.
I
Outstanding.
look at the tiefling. This is why we don't breed with humans. This is what happens.
I rolled a 5.
5. All right. You plant it in. You ever seen that pole vault at the Olympics? The one guy that's running and he goes to do it and doing.
Yes.
You land flat on. You don't even get over from where you are standing. Now your lance is stuck in the ground. The vines have begun to come back up, and you're just laying there like, ow.
Is he lying in the vines?
Yeah.
Kind of. Not. They haven't quite come for him yet. They're more interested in the lance that just got stabbed into them.
I step forward quickly, grab him by whatever armor he has, and drag him out of the way.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go back for his lance.
Okay. Give me a strength check on pulling the lance out.
19.
I'm probably
19. All right.
I'm
So you
probably
walk
on the
up.
floor laughing my head off.
So because of your sheer size as a full orc, you kind of step one foot on either side of the lance, grab and just hit, and King Arthur that thing right out of the ground, and you just kind of stomp your way back to where he is and toss it to him. Here you go. You
I
idiot.
fight the urge to hold it over my head and scream, I have the power.
By the power of Grayskull! Okay, so you're all right back to where you started. With Skomira on the other side watching you just...
Right.
Do you have any tricks, Tiefling?
Sure.
I mean, I'm pretty sure she can pick your pockets.
You're assuming I haven't already.
True.
Ah, shit. Where's my coin purse?
Can the ranger hear us from where we're at?
It's like, oh, you mean the
If you raise your voice above just like casual talking, just hey, how's it going? Then yeah, I mean you're only talking about maybe 15 feet of distance.
Okay.
In open air. So I mean you're projecting a little bit for her to hear you, but it's not unreasonable. I mean she can hear you.
Okay. Dwarf, you have the look of nature about you. You think it's safe to cut these things out of our way?
I mean, I was ready to burn it with fire.
I
So,
unlimbered my great sword from my back.
Okay.
The only thing is, if you cut them, they might grow back.
or something worse might show up.
I look at the tiefling, stare at her. I could have done without that thought. I put the blade back on my back.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
let me try
maybe I can
something.
muscle through it. I'm not nimble like the dwarf. And I'm going to try to just power walk my rear end right through it.
All right. Still give me a dexterity check on it.
Yep.
Because you're stepping on uneven ground.
Okay. 12.
I would say you succeed. It's not easy. Again, you don't have the dexterity the dwarf does, but you get through it. You power through it. Your boots come out the other side a little more scuffed and worn than they were when you walked through, but you make it to the other side.
All right. I'm gonna attempt to do the same, except I'm going to run. I'm not gonna walk.
You're not
I'm
going
just
to
gonna
pole
stand
vault.
off to the side.
I'm
Me too.
still staying back there because I want to watch to see if he gets pushed back or falls flat on his face.
I'm gonna use my lance as a third leg. I'm gonna row myself over there. But no, yeah, I'm gonna
All
try
right.
to run.
Same thing. Dexterity check. What you got?
11.
11. You succeed. You get through. A little more difficulty than Cargath had. You're a little more nervous because of what just happened to you, and you're like a little gun shy, but you make it through. So that leaves Airi is the only one left on the other side.
I'm gonna kind of do almost like a little prancing skip through.
Okay. I just imagine her like if she has a skirt, just kind of holding it up. And
Right. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Success. All right. All of you are now standing on the other side.
And I'm gonna have a slight smug look when I look over at Talken too. Just like, wasn't that hard?
So now, the path that is open to you is essentially behind you if you're facing where the vines are.
All right.
All right.
I turn around and face the path.
Okay.
Yep.
You
Is
go
there
through them? Yep, it's same as before.
Second verse, same as the first.
Is there anything different about this fog?
Give me a notice check, just a d20 with you add your wisdom modifier to it.
16.
16. Nothing special. Feels the same as before as you kind of wave your hand through it. So nothing beyond what you've already experienced at this point. Seems the same fog.
I'll go ahead and walk through.
Okay. Do the rest of you join him?
I'll follow because if anything's going to hit us, it's going to hit him first.
True point. And he's a big target, so you got that. All right. Passing through the fog, you now find yourself standing in a field of brightly colored flowers of orange and purple and yellow. The path now in front of you is the path of death. The path to the left is the path you had just taken that is now closed. And as you walk through, that fog retreats behind you, and the vines grow over.
Yes, apparently that is not the path we were supposed to take.
Or it is the path that you're supposed to take. I mean,
So as it stands right now, you're back in... What was that?
This place reeks of the Fae and their trickery.
So
not wrong.
Oh, the coin says to go to the flowers.
That's where you just came from.
Well, the
You
one that's not
essentially
so
you essentially went through the green in front of you. You have now come through what would have been on your left, the flowers. The only paths now open to you are the one you had initially come through into this area and the path of death in front of you.
I guess death.
I laugh in the face of death. I proceed through.
Okay.
Nice knowing you, but all right, let's go.
Onward, meet shield.
As you walk through, the closer you get to the fog, the more of a rotting smell of death pervades the air. You can't, if you've ever smelled death before, you know that it's a smell you don't easily forget.
This just reminds me of Captain Two's ship whenever we didn't clear up all the fish we caught.
You touch, and as you walk through, there's a very slight stinging sensation each of you feels going through.
Well, where is this stinging sensation localized, or is it
Whole body? It's as you're passing through the fog, and it feels numbing to you. Do any of you have a resistance to electricity? Nope.
I do not.
But I will say I'm probably trying to push the orcs faster because I don't like this feeling.
You manage to walk through, but you all take 2 points of damage from essentially electricity shocking. But as you walk through and arrive to the other side, suddenly the air smells sweet again. The ground is healthy. To your left is a path again blocked by fog. Trees surround. However, in the corner, kind of in front of you and to your right a little bit, is a watering hole. A very, very still water. Brightly colored rocks line the edge. Trees have roots going down into this water, drinking, almost as if they're a bird with a long neck drinking from the water, but the water is very, very still.
Well, it's not the first time I've had dysentery.
I'd not be bragging about that.
Well,
It's definitely not a fun thing to have.
Hasn't killed me yet.
Oh.
I'm gonna go over and take a drink.
All right. So Skomira walks up to the water's edge to take a drink. Okay. You walk. You kind of look over the water. You see this black shape in the water coming towards the surface. You can't really tell what it is until it comes through the water. But it's the most beautiful maiden any of you have ever laid your eyes upon. She comes out of the water, kind of rests herself on the rocks. You see about here down. She's kind of just got her arms almost as if just on the edge of a pool. Locking eyes with Skomira, as she is the closest, you begin to hear a song that you can't get out of your head. It entrances you, pulls you closer towards the water. You need to make a saving throw for a siren song.
And what am I saving throw against that one?
One sec. What's your question, Airi?
With my background of pirate, do I have any type of like previous knowledge or resistance to this?
No. But it's targeting. It is a targeting effect. It's not all party members. She has targeted Skomira as the one who was closest and the one who came to the water to drink. It is a Constitution saving throw.
Let me take a look here.
To help the dwarf or not to help?
You are at this point, as you've begun, you are more or less about 5-6 feet from the water's edge.
14.
14. You have no idea how close of a success that is. You kind of you hear it, but maybe calling upon the dwarven senses you have as a ranger, you kind of shake it off and you start to kind of just doing one of these, trying to push it out of your head. You're not entranced by it, but it's having an effect on you. You don't feel 100% present in the moment you are in. And she looks at you and she kind of stops. She looks at Talken, and you hear the same sound.
Oh dear.
But only Talken can hear it. You hear it inside of your mind. She opens her mouth, but you hear it. You need to give me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Wait, I still have my torch, right?
Oh.
Yeah, you still have you never, if you never put it away, you're still holding it.
Can I burn the watery tart?
You can try, sure.
I rolled a 3 for Constitution.
Oh, no.
So you see he's standing there and he kind of looks over and he hears it in his head. He locks eyes and you see him just and he just kind of drops his lance and he's just kind of doing one of these towards the water's edge.
Do I need to
take my torch and
notice this?
All right, Skomira goes to use the torch on the siren in the water. You know what? Roll a d20 to see if you hit.
That was what we were going to ask Becky.
Hold on here. I might have hit. Let me see here. 10.
10. That would be a miss. You throw it, it just soars right over the siren's head and just lands in the water next to her.
But does it
She just kind of looks at you and just looks back at Talken and just continues. And Talken's still just...
So, can I use my crossbow?
I would say you have enough time before Talken gets to the water. You could probably get a shot off.
I would like to try to grab Talken and stop his approach.
Okay, give me a strength check.
Right, I'm literally flipping a coin to see if I'm like trying to hit Talken in the butt with the crossbow, or if I'm trying to hit the siren.
Cargath is okay. All right,
I know,
you know what?
say, this is going to be me who gets shot now. 17.
So hang on. So what's happening first here? All right. Talken, you're just entranced. Skomira, you just lost your torch into the water. Who's going first? Is it Cargath or Airi? Who's doing what?
For the sake of humor, I say I go first.
I mean, at least her shot's going to be more difficult because it's targeted.
Right?
You know?
Yeah, that's disadvantage because it's a
I'm trying
cold
to do the
shot.
whole thing of like, do I shoot her that's causing him to be like that, or do I shoot him in the butt to see if it snaps him out of it? Like,
All right, so
I mean, I'm a pirate. On our ship, we did
I tell you-
shenanigans to
tell
each
you-
other all the time.
tell you what, we'll let the die solve that. We'll let the die solve this. Even Cargath goes first. Odd, Airi gets her shot off first because you're both trying to act at the same time. All right. So,
All right.
Odd, Airi, you get your shot off first.
Okay. And that total for attack.
That's with disadvantage because it's a called shot. If you're trying to shoot him in the butt, if you're trying to hit the siren, so what's your target?
The coin went for the siren.
The coin went to the siren. Okay, roll to see if you hit.
That's a 19 to hit.
19 hits. Roll for damage.
That's 5.
5.
Piercing.
So your arrow, you fire your arrow, it hits her right in the shoulder, and it only goes in through the scaly skin that she has, only enough for the head of the arrow to go into her skin, and it's enough to break her concentration. She lets out this shriek and just dives back into the water. Talken. I'm gonna start calling people's names right. Talken. You just kind of. What happened?
You were entranced by a watery turret.
Nope, I don't believe you.
And I saved you.
Never fallen into the of such a vile creature.
How do you know she was vile if you didn't see her?
I used
All right.
Because he thinks that he would at least remember a beauty.
Well,
I'm not sure how he remembers his own name.
oftentimes I don't, but it depends on how much meat I've had.
If you can still remember your name, you haven't had enough.
All right. So as I come back to my senses, I look around to assess my surroundings. Has anything changed?
No. You're just about 10 feet closer to the water than you were when you started.
You're closer to the water. Cargath has your lance. I'm there with a crossbow.
He never gave my lance back?
I thought he
you
had.
dropped
No, he
it when
didn't.
You went to go play with the swimming girl.
Oh, yeah, you just threw it and just dropped it on the ground.
Mhm.
I mean,
Though
if
I
you didn't ask
probably
for it
could
back,
keep it because he's proven he's not safe to carry it.
He has a hard time holding on to it.
Okay, now see that's just
Apparently.
We need to get you one of those like wrist tie things that they have for the keys to boats and stuff.
I was thinking about one of those little monkey backpacks you get for toddlers, but the backpack goes on him.
Right, let me tell you how practical that would be if I go to try and throw it. I would throw it and just go boink.
Right.
All right, so the water has gone back to still. The half-orc is embarrassed. And one path that you haven't taken remains behind you.
can I reach my torch?
Are you sure to risk it?
It's floating in the water. It's extinguished, but floating in the water.
How far from the shore? I'm kind of short.
Oh, this. Think of this as only like a few feet wide. This is not big. This is like kiddie pool size. It's just this well of water that looks like it's just almost unnaturally there. So it's not big. I mean, you could probably stand on the rocks. Like if you knelt down, you could probably, if you couldn't reach, you could probably just, kind of pull the water to get it if you really felt brave enough.
Or I'm taller than you. I can probably try to get it.
I was going to say, someone come hold my feet.
Well, tell
I'll come Dingle the dwarf.
Bobbing for torches. Yeah. So who can come hold my feet so I can get my torch out of the water?
If you're wanting someone to hold you, it needs to be one of them. I'm not that strong.
Cargath, friend, come, hold my feet.
Just hold your breath.
All
Hold
right.
my beer.
So Cargath picks up Skomira, just kind of, you know that scene in Avengers when the Hulk grabs Loki and just yoink, and just, this is what happens. You're just like, all right, grab me. Zhoosh! Picks you up, holds you over the water to grab it. And as you go to reach, this scaly hand reaches up out of the water, grabs it, pulls it down. And then, you know how if you take like a ball that's filled with air and you hold it under the water and then it shoots back up, suddenly out of the water comes soaring this thing. And what's your armor class there, Skomira?
Let me see here.
It didn't matter. It was a natural. I rolled a 1. So it just launches. It just launches up into the air, goes over you, over Cargath, and your soaking wet torch is just laying on the ground there now in the grass. And Cargath is just left standing there holding you by your ankles.
Should I roll like a surprise check to make sure I don't drop her?
No, I would say your hands are large enough that they almost wrap around her ankles twice. You're fine. You've got a solid hold of her.
Like, thank you.
Well, that worked out well. Thank you.
Now see,
All right.
here's the thing where I'm gonna be like, thank you for the torch back. Can I get my bolt back, please?
Can I have my lance
This
back?
broken arrow just like floats up to the water.
Like, well, I can't really use that.
All right.
Well,
Is there anything else noteworthy in this field?
Beyond what you can just see around you, it's pretty plain what you can see. Yeah, it's the healthy
Let us
grass.
continue on. We have to find this friar. We have to find the friar before he's fried.
All right. Well,
yeah, we might be too late if we walk through that.
True.
Okay. Journey on.
yeah.
Journey on.
All right, journey on. The fog, as you pass through, this doesn't harm you. This feels cold. Colder than you felt from the others. Not any kind of damaging, but definitely one where if you had any kind of covering, you would just do one of these and just walk through. It feels cold, and when you come out the other side, there's a lot of moisture now kind of that's pooled on top of you. Your hair is wet, like you've just gone through like a fresh spring rain.
I'm literally gonna do like almost a full body shake like a dog to get as much of that water off.
As before, is when you walk through, the fog behind you rapidly retreats behind you. The area that you stand, I can only describe as an open air corridor. It has walls lined with moss and vines that extend for about 40 feet. It's maybe 20 feet wide. I will try to describe this as best as I can. A few feet up on your left is a path heading off to your left. And there's fog again blocking. As you look ahead, you see these barricades, wooden barricades, kind of staggered, 2 of them. And you can see they don't seem to have noticed you yet. You see 3 humanoids, long wings down to the back of their knees, and they are armed. Beyond them is another path covered in fog.
Can we see whether or not the path to our left looks like going around them?
No, the fog, same as before. The fog,
Oh.
it's up a little ways. It's like 10 feet up, and then on the left, it's not like you can't just kind of do this. But even so, the fog that's there, you can't. What you can see, you can't see through. The fog appears to be similar to the others. As you're kind of trying to figure out what to do, one of them turns their head and they see you and they lock eyes and very quickly pull an arrow, knock it, pull back, and you hear this screech. And it's not like the siren. This is more of it's a language that you don't quite get. It's time to roll for initiative.
Dude, I'm happy that these dice actually like me, like the ones I normally play with.
All right. So I'm not sure where everybody is, but this is what you see in front of you.
I think
There
the
are
big guys are in front.
Are the big guy? So what's our form? First off, what's our formation?
I would definitely move to the front.
Okay.
I'm a little squishy tiefling. I'm in the back.
I'm ranged, so I'm somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
All right, I will stand off to the right, directly opposite of the
All
other
right.
orc.
Okay. All right. Let me roll their initiative. Okay. Okay. What do we have? Talken, what'd you roll?
10.
10. Cargath?
19.
19. Nice. Okay. Airi?
19.
19.
I think my dex is higher though. So.
Okay.
I
Skomira?
would suspect so.
20.
20. All right.
Didn't see that coming.
All right. So the order of combat is this. Skomira is first. Then Cargath, Airi. Who wants to go first? You rolled the same. I would say Cargath. Who has the higher dexterity?
She does.
Okay. All right. So Airi. And then Cargath. Then they will have their turn. And then Talken, you are last. All right. So what are we doing?
I'm pulling back that bow and arrow on my longbow,
All right.
and I'm going to take a shot at whoever's closest.
Okay. Closest to you would be, they've kind of come around to see you. They can't really fire through this. This is more just to kind of create barrier. So moving around, this one is closest to you to get to aim for their fire.
All right.
All right. So go ahead. What do you got?
Longbow.
Longbow. Go ahead.
Let me see. I may not have hit. Let me see. I may just be a bad shot. Let's see here. I rolled a 9 plus my proficiency is 2. Yeah, I got an 11.
11 misses.
Yeah.
Your arrow it just goes right by the pointed ear behind them. All right. Airi, what do you got?
Crossbow to the one that's not behind any cover. Looks
Okay.
like he's in the middle.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay, so that plus 4 and 30, 20.
Dirty 20. That hits. Give me damage.
6 piercing.
6 piercing. All right. Okay. Cargath.
And hold on. Bonus action with a little bit of movement. I want to go behind Talken and hide.
Really? Really?
Okay.
We've already seen that I can't handle my lance. So what makes you think that I'm going to be a good protection for you?
You're a meat shield.
All right.
This adventure so far has proven only that she's about to get stabbed by the lance somehow.
So the meat shield will then have a meat popsicle.
Right? Play a game of puppet.
All right, Cargath, what's up? They are within movement distance from where you are right now to the nearest one. Yeah.
I'm going to advance with a prayer to Lathander and move forward to strike with my greatsword.
So are you going towards him or the one in the middle, or which are you going? Which you could get to either of these. This guy you'd have to go around the barricade, but either of these you could get to. Sorry, which one? This one or the one in the middle?
Yeah, let me go kind of diagonal to the closest one.
Here? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Roll to hit.
$18
hits. Give me damage.
rolled a 1 on the die. My paladin specialty, I can reroll 1s. Reroll 1 for 4 is a total of 9 plus 2, 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, their turn. So this one here is actually going to rapidly retreat. He's going to use his movement, and he darts back through the fog.
Chicken!
This one here takes a few steps back and readies to fire an arrow at Cargath. $13.
Miss.
13 misses. All right. This one, he's going to come over a bit, and he's going to fire back here to hit Skomira. Go for the long shot. 21.
That's... Wait,
That
can I do
hits.
dexterity saving?
I'm sorry?
Would I have the option to do a dexterity saving throw?
To dodge an arrow? I mean,
Yep.
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, I may not be successful, but I can try.
Yeah, you can try because you would see him come around and aim. What'd you get?
I only roll high when it doesn't matter. So 18 plus my modifier is 19 plus my proficiency is 21.
So you see him aim. The arrow comes. And you just kind of go like it's seen out of the Matrix. You could. It almost stops in time. You can almost grab it and just let it go. Okay. All right. Okay. That goes us to Talken. Your turn. Who you going after?
I'm going to go after the closest one and attempt to skewer him with my lance.
Okay. So you're gonna kind of come up, and I mean, really, they're right next to each other. You're right at distance. I would call that close enough.
Okay.
To get within distance of a lance, because the lance is long enough. So all right, roll your d20 to hit.
Okay. 20.
20, natural 20. All right, his first combat roll of the game, and the boy gets a critical hit. All right.
I'm just thankful I didn't get stabbed by a lance.
Of his D&D career.
That's it. That's it.
Yep.
Now that's it. You are now you're ready to be a dungeon master. All right. Okay. Let's see. Your lance is I wrote it down here. What is your lance? 1d12. So roll that twice because critical hit. You get double damage points.
Right. Roll twice. All right. First one is a 5.
5.
Second one's a 3.
5 and 3. Okay. Beautiful. All right, back at the top of the round. Skomira, you are up. They are in your way.
Yeah. I'm going to hold my turn until they're not in my way.
Okay. So, okay. All right, Skomira passes. Airi.
All right. Is there any way for me to see an enemy without hitting an ally?
Not with it. Not. It would be disadvantage. You would risk hitting them.
You shoot me in the butt, I'm going to kill you.
They're big enough to obscure your shot.
But how would you know it was me?
Yeah, it could be the dwarf. You don't know.
And the other Tiefling pirate rogue person thing that shoots stuff at people and stuff.
I mean, I've shot a couple of bolts. Maybe one of the Fae took the previous bolt and stuck it in your butt as a fun way. Kind of like the water in Moana with the dart for, yeah.
I didn't think we were bringing out the pegging pants, but all right. No,
Wow. This game escalated quickly, didn't it?
You put a bunch of geeks in here that, yeah.
All right, Airi, what are you doing?
Okay, is there... So even if I got between Cargath and, like, the barrier, would I be able to see anything, or...
What's your movement again?
Oh, my movement. 30 feet.
You could probably so you're talking about coming up here?
Like,
I mean,
trying to get between a person and a barrier to where I can see an enemy.
Oh, to like over like to the side there?
Yeah.
Between yeah, I would say you'd realistically probably have room to make that.
Okay.
If you're like right next to him, you're not really gonna hit him. You know, because he would be like there.
There, I can't shoot you in the butt this time.
I'll give it to you. Go ahead.
Okay, I will again try with crossbow.
Okay.
And then, so that's another dirty 20, by the way.
Dirty 20. Okay.
But this includes technically my sneak attack since they're engaged with an ally.
Okay. Yes, it does. So it's an extra 1d6.
Okay.
So regular damage plus the a 1d6.
That's 13 total for the one that's in front of me.
13 total. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cargath, you're right there. What do you want to do?
I think it's time to swing this thing like a maniac again.
Okay, so you're going to come around. Go ahead.
$17.
17 hits. Give me damage.
$11 again.
11 again. All right. This one, your sword easily, you hit, it just goes in and goes halfway in to the chest.
Nice.
Of the fairy creature in front of you. And he just kind of slumps down and just like your sword is still there and half of it, the half of, 2/3 of his body just slumps off of it, basically.
Nice.
And he is dead. All right. He is down, leaving one behind. Okay. He's going to take his turn. He's kind of backed into a corner, so he's going to back up all the way into this corner and go for kind of a Hail Mary shot right at the giant armored paladin in front of him. So coming at you, Kargath. 21.
That definitely hits.
Yep. Damage.
Well, I would like to pretend that it doesn't.
That's only 4 points of damage.
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
I can take that.
All right. Talken, your move.
I will approach the creature and attempt to talk to it and see what its motives are.
Okay.
We just killed 2 of its friends, and you're gonna try to go make friends with it.
Well, I want to see what its purpose is. You don't come across a bunch of fae standing at what appears to be the remains of a garrison and just be like, oh, well, they're not here for any particular reason.
I mean, we're technically not within our own world anymore, so for all we know, you do see fae just standing around.
At least he's not a murder hobo.
Yet.
True.
Yet.
Yet.
Yeah, this is true.
All right. So, what are you saying? And give me a charisma saving throw.
Okay. And that's going to be the D20, right?
D20 with whatever your charisma modifier is, which I think might be a -1. But well, I'm not. You'll have to check your stat sheet. I don't have it in front of me.
That's actually a +2.
Wow.
11. So +2 is 13. What is your purpose here?
It just kind of looks at you, doesn't really understand, and begins to get another arrow ready.
Oh, jeez.
And that's your turn.
All right.
So, Skomira.
So do I have enough movement just because I can't see the gridding to get up next, like within shot of the character in the corner?
I can move you there, and I mean, we'll say he's there. I mean, you could probably get that shot off. It wouldn't really be I wouldn't say it's with disadvantage. I would just say, because he's backed himself into a corner, kind of a thing. So that's about as close as you can get.
I'm taking the shot.
I'd say roll it like normal.
Oh, let me see here.
All right, Talken, be ready for an arrow in the butt.
11.
11.
Oh, no, 12, because my dexterity modifier for my bow.
12 hits. Give me damage.
Woohoo!
You were so close.
3.
All right, he's still alive. Airi, you're up.
Yes.
You're all within movement of him now, so.
Okay.
Okay, shoot at my butt, just a little bit to the side of me.
Kneel down and aim between his legs, but don't go too high.
I mean, that's what I was saying, like a trick shot. Like, maybe disadvantage if you're trying for a trick shot.
With disadvantage, and if you fail, he has to roll for damage.
I have to roll
Is it really a trick shot if you're as short as we are?
Huh?
Is it really a trick shot when you're as short as we are?
If you're shooting, I don't care how short you are. If you're shooting between the legs of somebody else and it's a called shot, I'm going to give it disadvantage because you might as well be shooting at something with cover. So, because you basically are. So, yeah, it's still with disadvantage.
But if he goes commando, is it really with cover?
Rudy's a fighter, so.
I mean, if he's going full Conan, like.
I mean, I'll roll both for disadvantage and see if I can actually make the shot between his legs.
Arnold's Conan, not Jason Momoa's Conan.
All right. Airi has a called shot between Talken's legs.
All right. The lowest roll on the dice is 12.
You hit!
Wait.
And the claw. So let's look at a close-up of his character here for full description. All right. All right. There you go. There's the close-up of his of Talken Craterjew there. You essentially just barely do it. Your arrow actually goes through loose fabric of his pants. All right. Narrowly missing and hitting your target. Give me damage.
Good God.
That's 11 points of piercing.
With a very surprised look on his face at this arrow that just came out of nowhere because he can't even see you from the other side. He just sees like the fabric of Talken's pants just blow apart by his knee. Just and just kind of falls and slumps down.
Wow.
All right.
Okay, once I see that the enemy's down and Talken probably looks at me, I'm like, oh, sweet, that actually worked.
That actually worked. You put my family line in danger.
I thought you already did that whenever you accepted this quest.
Whoa. All right. So there are two paths you have not taken. There is the one in front of you. There is the one to the side. We're going to take a moment. Yes.
Can I
Go
loot
ahead.
their bodies? Or
Loot
did they
their
just, like,
bodies.
disintegrate?
You could try, but you're not going to really fight. The bows are there. They're standard longbows. As far as you can tell, they wouldn't be anything special to you beyond what you already have. And they're standard arrows. If somebody
I don't
wants,
have a longbow, so can I take a longbow?
you can take a longbow. You can take a longbow, and you find 13 arrows total.
I'll let the dwarf be able to get her number back to what she had before she launched some of her arrows.
Okay.
One.
All right. So Airi gets 12 and Skomira.
Two. Yeah.
Okay, so 11 and 2.
Got it.
Okay. Otherwise, you don't find anything really of value They seem nothing that you would perceive as value in the world you're from. All right, so guys, this is where we're going to take a short break before we go any further. We're going to have a brief commercial here. It's about 3.5 minutes of talking about some of the sponsors with Geek News Now. So we will be back in just a moment.
Are you looking for a new energy drink balanced for gaming, mental alertness with no crash after? Go on over to root-users.com. Root is an energy drink for gamers by gamers, using a mix of vitamins and vegetable roots with only 64 milligrams of added caffeine. Root gives you the performance boost you need. Go on over to root-users.com, use promo code GNN20 and receive 20% off your entire order. root-users.com. Game on. Metallic Dice Games. Since 2014, this family-owned business has been providing not just metallic dice sets for your favorite tabletop games, but also gemstone, acrylic, and glow-in-the-dark dice. In fact, a couple of players in tonight's game, as well as tonight's Dungeon Master, are using dice from Metallic Dice Games. Head on over to metallicdicegames.com. Use promo code GNN to receive 10% off your entire order site-wide. metallicdicegames.com. Ripped Apparel, selling unique, limited edition pop culture designs every day on t-shirts, hoodies, posters, and more. Each design lives for only 36 hours. Head on over to rippedapparel.com today, because the design you want may be gone tomorrow. Use promo code GNN10 for 10% off your order. rippedapparel.com. Geek News Now is proud to announce our partnership with HumbleBundle.com. Humble Bundle sells games, software, and other digital content, with a mission to support charity while providing awesome content to customers at great prices. With a pay-what-you-want flexible pricing plan, as well as charity contributions, you can get your favorite content at great prices and also do some good in this mixed-up world. Follow the link in the description to head over to our partnership site with Humble Bundle. All products purchased through our link benefit the Child's Play charity. Child's Play is a charitable organization that donates toys and games to children's hospitals worldwide. It was founded in 2003 by Mike Krahulik and Jerry Holkins, authors of the popular video game-related webcomic Penny Arcade. The charity is seen as a way to refute mainstream media's perception of gamers as violent and antisocial, having raised over $44.5 million since its inception. Follow the link to see what good we can all do together. Be sure to check out all of our content on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. Even check out our podcast happening over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and Podbean. And of course, head on over to our website at geeknewsnow.net for up-to-date articles, breaking news, and new content daily. Real geek news, no clickbait, no fluff. Geek News Now, powered by the fans.
And we're back.
Sorry, let me adjust my setup here.
I was like, I feel like I'm back on Captain Two's pirate ship. Looking over there.
Nobody look at Talken's camera. That is an amazing
Dice Tower.
dice tower. That is, I love that.
I haven't finished painting it yet.
Mine is cardboard off of Amazon.com.
Yeah, I printed this one.
That is nice. I love that. We may talk later. I love that. We'll talk later. We'll figure that. We'll do it. We'll do a 3D print trade. Yeah. All right, guys. So we are back. For those of you who may or may not be tuning in or just tuning in, this is Dungeon Guild, provided by Geek News Now. And everybody playing tonight are members of Geek News Now in one form or another. So, before our break, you were standing after having just completely annihilated some fairy archers. You now stand in a corridor of trees and vines with two paths. One that was closer to where you came in on your left. And there was one that one of the fairy archers had run through during combat.
I say we follow the archer.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been like, hi. Sorry.
Okay.
We want to chase him down and kill him. She wants to make friends.
Right.
I really wanted to be like, hi, where is the friar? Tell me you haven't fried him already.
Okay.
Well,
So
at
are
least now we
you
know how he got his name.
are you
Friar
following
Tomlin.
are you following the way the archer went? Okay. So
Hunting down this scurvy dog. You never abandon your crew.
passing through this fog feels much denser than you've experienced before. You're able to pass through, but with difficulty. This isn't as calm of a walk through of a cloud. This almost feels as if it has matter and substance that you kind of almost have to push through. It's much harder, but you are able to get through it. It's not impossible. It just takes a few moments. And as before, the entire party is enveloped before you reach the other side. And once you do, it opens into what can only be described as almost a refugee camp of sorts. As you walk through and the fog retreats behind you, the clearing before you is large. You can see the trees at the far edge all the way around and in the distance. And what lays before you is a sea of tents and makeshift structures. You see women and children, mixtures of races you've never seen before. Some of them almost look to be crossbreeds of different races. And you see very little that seems natural. Everything here seems out of place. And everybody just kind of looks at you with a certain amount of fear, trepidation.
I have an uneasy feeling.
Hey, Airi, you're the friendly, bubbly one. Go talk to them.
I'm also the most demonic looking one out of all of us.
Which means
I
you
mean, I
saved
don't
them.
mind, but I mean, we got an orc, a half orc, a tiefling, and a dwarf. You're probably the one that most people will actually talk to.
Me. I guess I could try. So
Okay.
is there someone that, like, I can kind of like approach and
You can, but as you do, like women grab what appear to be children and like pull them close and kind of like people move in front of you.
what has happened to you all?
No one really responds, but instead you hear this bellowing roar coming from your right. You turn your heads quickly. You see this tent almost blow apart as a minotaur comes charging out of it, running full speed, jumps, stops, slams his feet down in front of you, comes to a skid. He carries no weapons, but the horns on his head, you don't really believe he needs it. What do you want?
There's a friend of ours. He's lost. We're here to find him.
Your friend. And who friend is this?
Friar Tomlin.
He looks
Oh,
at
I
you,
see you've met.
and he grabs Skomira by the front of your tunic, picks you up, and just kind of tosses you back to the others. You serve him! And when he does, he hangs on to the amulet that was given to you that was hanging around your neck. And he just crushes it in his hand and drops it to the ground. And he's just bearing down, staring at you. You can almost see his eyes glow, just rage, pure rage.
So I only serve me. Who is this him you speak of?
I step forward. What has he done to you?
And as the Minotaur kind of gets down on all fours, kind of in this charging state, the shorter, what you would assume is older man with wings similar to the archer that you had seen, but much, much older, just walks up and places a hand on his arm. And immediately the Minotaur just kind of backs down, looks at him, just lets out a stomps off. And he turns to you, this older, fairy-looking creature. You'll have to excuse my friend. He has been here too long. It has made him wild. What do you want?
We have been sent here to find Friar Tomlin.
Are you here to help him?
And he broke my friend's amulet. So,
I mean, if it was that cheap, then broke that easy.
maybe
He
we can
kind
get
of-
some coin from it.
He kind of looks at all of you. He looks at the tiefling, looks at the dwarf, looks at the orc, looks at the half-orc. You were sent here, weren't you?
Mm.
So was he, once upon a time. He was sent for the same reason you were. You find yourself in an interesting position. You find no malice here. And he just stands back. He kind of opens his robe a bit, showing that he has no weapon on him, and just kind of shows his arms. You're here for Friar Tomlinson. Kill him or take him with you. And he just stands there and
What has he done to you?
look around. This fog, it's not my magic. I am the elder of these people. I've kept them alive, but barely. Many of them can't leave. They don't possess the strength to pass through that fog. You don't hear they don't possess the energy. Most of them, many of them, I shouldn't say most, but many, came here such as yourself. You spend enough time in these woods, they change you. Perhaps you become like him.
Like Mr. Fluffy. Okay,
I would not call him that to his face.
but he is Fluffy.
The Minotaur just, you kind of look over, the Minotaur just stops, stomps one foot in the ground hard enough that you can feel it 40 feet away, and just keeps walking.
We hear you, Tiny. We hear you.
I approach. Who sent Friar Tomlinson here? Did he tell you that much?
He sent himself. He came here on his own. We were happy. Nobody bothered us. We didn't even know outside people could get here. Until one day, start showing up. And in the woods, they can be unforgiving to those who don't know their way around.
So, in our realm, the friar is thought to be a good man. But yet you say he came here and he's created this. Is this simply a reaction to his presence? Or is this something he has become?
The friar came here peacefully at first, seeking knowledge. But the knowledge and the magic of the forest is not something one can just learn.
Aye.
We have it because we were born into this world. And we were born into the woods. We are as much a part of it as it is a part of the trees and the grass around you. But he didn't take kindly to the answer no. And he lifts up his tunic and shows a scar that cuts deep into the skin. He didn't take kindly to it at all. And he kind of straightens himself back up and regains his composure and just stands there and, without blinking, stares at each of you, almost waiting for you to strike him as well.
Where is the friar now?
Deeper into the woods, I suspect.
Do you have any better idea of where?
I'd like to delve into my orcish brain, see if I can recall what that symbol is on our.
Give me a religion check. With advantage because you're a paladin.
Well, in that case, 24.
24. It's the symbol of Bethshaba.
There's somebody like, is it?
Yep. It's the symbol of Bethshaba. You would know Bethshaba as a Loki, essentially. God of the, actually goddess of the Forgotten Realms.
Goddess of misfortune.
And trickery. Chaotic evil.
So what you're telling us is...
What I'm saying is we've been duped. We are now acting the part of the villain.
But what I want to confirm, if we take him out of here or we kill him, whichever the outcome is, does it free these people?
To be frank, I don't care. I must see this to the end to right my place with my God. He must die. He must pay.
But we don't even know if we can leave this place without him.
But
I will
what good
consider that penance.
What good is his death if it does not free these people?
What would it take to free your people?
Unfortunately, that I do not know. The magic that keeps us in this realm here, only few are strong enough to leave.
Oh.
Those that do face the dangers of the wilds themselves if they are not born to it. My Minotaur friend, let's just say, he did not arrive a Minotaur.
Was he fluffier before?
I'm sorry?
Was he fluffier before?
No, he was scalier before, but not for long. The woods have a way of bringing out the nature of something.
All right. So we know that he's in this realm. Do we know if he keeps to the trees, to the caves, to the waters? Where does he keep?
My belief, from what my scouts have been able to say, from very brief encounters with him, those that survive, is he is deeper into the forest through an area they are not strong enough to pass through with the fog. Most of them hit it and bounce off almost as if it were solid. But he can walk through seemingly with no issue. I do not know if this is...
Us?
I'm sorry?
Can they guide us to him?
I can tell you the last place he was seen going. If you go back through the way that you came, there is a path up on the right. It's quite dense. None of my scouts have been able to penetrate it. And then he just looks at you and just walks away, completely bearing his back, with no sense of danger or threat to you at all, and walks away.
Well, since we haven't said it, even though the amulet is crushed, I'm gonna go pick it up and try to like dust it off a little bit. And I'm looking at it and looking at my dwarf buddy, knowing that it belongs to her, and going like, but treasure? But give back? But treasure?
And I'm just like, meh.
Well, no. What if these amulets are the way to navigate the fog?
The only way to navigate
Guess
fog, the
we'll
only way
find
to get
out.
out of here.
Well, I'll let you keep it for now. If we need it, I need it. But
Okay. Put it in my pocket.
I go after the old Fae.
Okay.
Not menacing, but
Right. You walk up and kind of tug on his sleeve, and he comes to a stop and straightens himself and turns and does one of these. He's only about 5'5", and just kind of
yeah.
Yes.
and just doesn't say anything. Just kind of looks at you like, "Are you gonna kill me? You gonna what's up?"
Any chance that your big horned friend would like revenge and would you wish to accompany us?
He's protective of these people. He wouldn't dare to leave, for he feels that While he could go out and hunt the woods himself, he sees himself as one who must stay to keep them safe. If he leaves, who is left? And he kind of looks around, and you don't see anyone that quite matches the size or strength of the Minotaur in the area.
Very well. I will leave him to his quest on this knob.
You kind of look over to where you saw the Minotaur come out of, and he's like righting his tent that he came bursting out of and setting it back down. And then he just kind of slumps down in front of it and just stares at you. Just
If he looks back at me again, I want to do thaumaturgy to change the color of my eyes as I'm staring at him.
He's really more looking in your direction, but just kind of like past you, through you.
Mm-hmm.
He's not, almost like he's lost in his own thoughts.
Well, I don't know that we'll find much more answers here. I say we move on.
Well, apparently that was a good choice.
Okay. All right. So you move on. So who goes where and how?
Meat
Well-
shields in the front.
Yeah.
Okay, so you pass back through into the area that you were.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Looking for this extra path.
Okay. So you walk back through.
But right
And
before
when
we
you-
walk back through, I want to turn around and be like, okay, bye. We see you guys later. Bye, Fluffy. And then I walk through.
Most of them are just happy to see you leave the area, and most of them they kind of count themselves lucky that this was not an encounter, because remember, they can't go through this fog, so anything that comes through there is kind of perceived immediately as a threat to them, as a challenge to them. So they're just kind of happy to go, just take their children and go home and away. Okay, passing through the fog, you look over and you see the bodies of the slain fairy to your right, one of whom you saw he's dead now, face down. You see where he had tried to crawl from the corner that he was in, clutching to life before blood loss, and there's
I thought my between the legs shot killed him.
more or less, you kind of just left the area, and it was more one of those like last desperate. I mean, he's not very far, but he is quite dead. It was a fatal wound. In front of you, at the end of that corridor of trees and vines, is the path you had initially come into, and to the right is the other path.
The overgrown path, right?
Well, it's just filled with fog. You can't really see through it.
I say we try the other path.
Aye.
Okay.
I'm going to probably try to stay in the back just in case if she can't pass through the fog without the amulet, that I can give her the amulet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you walk up and you push your hands, and this is even harder to get through than before. And even with your strength and size as orcs, you're still trying to really muscle your way through it. However, it doesn't seem to be, you're able to pull it apart and kind of move your way through, like you're trying to get through like a hedge almost, a fog. You know, it's dense and packed, and but it's not closing as quickly behind you. So Airi and Skomira are able to kind of follow behind through the shape you guys are making through this fog, but it's tight. It's kind of closing in behind them, kind of pushing them forward. If you were to stop moving, you almost feel like this would just come in and suffocate you. So you are just pushing through it as hard as you can until you just kind of break through the other side and kind of stumble through, and then they get pushed through as it's closing behind them.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seal like those paths earlier with the vines and the trees, but the fog is back. You now find yourself in a corridor where the trees come up over and cross. Everything is dead here because sunlight cannot penetrate through, and it's a tunnel that you see that kind of weaves. The ground is hard, packed clay and dirt because there's no sunlight or moisture for the grass to grow, and the trees are just these dead, tangled trees. You can see, because of all of you have dark vision because of your races, but your dark vision kicks in, and more or less you see it in night vision right now.
Okay.
Okay, Do I see any obvious traps along this tunnel that we're gonna have to go down?
Give me a check. Give me a dexterity check. Or let's see, that would be
Perception.
that would be perception.
Mhm.
Perception, so wisdom check.
Perception. Perception +5. So let's say 15.
No traps.
Okay.
Can I do a nature check just to make sure, like to see if I see anything like more living plants, like we had the original vines?
Go ahead.
I only roll high when it doesn't matter. I got a 1. I don't see.
You don't see anything. You see cold and death. It doesn't have the dead smell that you experienced walking through the area of death earlier, but where you are right now, the ground, it's like walking through the woods in the dead of winter. Nothing has survived this area. And it just goes up and it winds. As far as you can tell, it just kind of winds off out of your view a little bit.
All right. I will attempt to walk through.
Okay.
I will follow.
All right. Walking down the path, it weaves for 120 feet or so before it opens into a small clearing. And now here the light has come in, and almost like you have in these, like, you know, idyllic God moments in movies where you have the single beam of light piercing through the trees, it just fills the area with the light. And what's there, you see.
Yeah, can we all vote that Cat makes that sound next time and not you?
Yes.
That's a win.
So, all right. So you go in, and what you see looks like a crude sorcerer's office. You see where tree stumps have bottles of potions sitting on them. Another one has been turned into a makeshift table. There's open books and parchment. There's various stacks of things kind of strewn around. But that is all you see. And the trees line the edge. And you see no fog here, but the trees are so dense around this edge of this room. And it's only maybe 10 by 15. I'll call it a room because that's what it feels like. The trees are tall with the sunlight coming down through the top. You can't see through the trees. It's too tightly packed to see beyond just trees. And you are alone.
What is the shiniest looking thing that I see?
Probably a scale used for weighing that's on one of the tables next to like a Morton pestle and some other, you know, kind of things. You also see strewn about various roots of plants, fungus. You see piles of moss on top of the tables as well. Bits of the nature that you have seen up to this point. Some of those bright flowers that you had seen earlier. Kind of bits of everything you've seen so far. It just kind of strewn onto the tables there.
Is there any evidence that someone's been here recently?
Give me a notice or perception check. So D20 with the wisdom modifier.
Okay. Rolled a 7 plus 2 wisdom. That's a 9.
You can tell. I mean, there's no mildew on anything. There's no overgrowth on the materials that are there. The potions, the glass bottle, you look at the glass bottles, they don't seem to be covered in any kind of pollen or anything from just sitting stagnant for a while. You can tell somebody's been here. You can't tell really how recently.
Can I do a nature check to determine if the nature that we're seeing on that table is from the area or if it's something that has been created?
Yeah. Go ahead.
9, 10, 11, 12. 12.
12. It's, as far as all appearances, just looking at it, aside from doing tests, you would believe it's just harvested from the nature that you've seen so far going through the woods. It doesn't look artificial. It looks like it either is or at one point was a breathing a live plant.
Okay.
Do I see anything that would be, I don't know, religious in nature for like, ritual use, anything of that matter that
Okay,
I can
give me a
identify?
notice check. Perception.
13.
13. The book that you see, the most prominent book you see on a table that's open, is turned. You see the same antler stamp on one of those pages. Just kind of, it's already open to that. So when you go, you look, you go, that's the same symbol.
Yeah.
It's a little more crudely drawn, like somebody did it with a brush. It's not perfect by any means, but you can tell that the intent of the symbol is there.
Yeah. Is there any writing on the page, any symbols on the page?
Are you searching the book, or are you looking at just that page?
Just that page.
Just that page that you see, you just see the symbol. You just see the symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Versus me, I'm curious. I'm probably gonna go over and like, oh, what you reading? And try to like actually pick up the book.
Are you picking up the book?
That's just me. I'm gonna be like, ooh, what's this? And
Okay. You pick up the book. The ground below you pulls apart all the roots and everything. And it's kind of this inverse elevator feeling where it almost lets you down through the ground. All of you, all living, standing creatures that would be in this room are let down, and it just pulls up and then just goes back above you. The room you are in now,
well, that was
because
neat.
Airi decided to pick up the book, is dark. What is above you is you look up and you see vines and the roots of trees and things that have formed. You are underneath the earth of the area above you. What's below your feet and what lines the walls is black rock, hard black rock, pebbles and rocks all over. There is no obvious exit to this room, but there is a chest, an old wooden chest that sits in the middle.
Can I roll to investigate? Because I'm a mountain dwarf, which means rocks are my friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to go look at the chest.
All right. So Skomira does her investigation first.
Because it's like, oh, I picked up a book. This is interesting. Now we're in a different place. Chest.
14.
13. And what is it you were trying to detect about the rocks?
Like, if there was like a area in those rocks that was like you push it and it would give way.
Nothing that you can tell. As far as just feeling, it seems very much solid all around you. Like it's as solid as you would expect ground to be, supporting the earth above it.
I would like to check around the chest for obvious traps.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Am I assisting with the traps, or am I just...
You give me one as well. You both can look. All of you can look for all I care. Go ahead. What did you get, Airi?
Let's see. That was a perception?
Yeah.
Yes.
I rolled
22.
I rolled
22.
plus 4 perception for 9.
9. There's no obvious traps. There's nothing attached. You do a very careful inspection looking around. You don't see anything attached to the lid like a tripwire. You don't see any pressure plates underneath the chest. It just seems to be a chest sitting on rocks. There's no lock. I will add, there is no, you notice there's no locking mechanism on the front of it.
Okay, open chest.
You open the chest.
I draw my bow.
Okay. Skomira gets ready to shoot whatever comes out of it. It's a mimic. No, I'm kidding. It's not a mimic.
Let it be a mimic named Chessie that wants to sell us all his wares.
No, it is not a mimic. You open it, and it's just, and it almost locks into place. And inside, about yay big, is it looks oddly familiar to you for reasons you can't understand. It's a large rock with what appears to have 20 flat sides on it. As you kind of look at it, all perfectly cut, just sitting in the middle of this chest. And the lid is now upright. Now, each of you see this in your own native language. But you all see the same thing when you look at it. Inside of the lid, letters burn bright, and they read, "Your path ahead, your luck to try. Roll the rock and live or die." And then it just fades back out.
Does the rock look interesting, or is it just a very plain rock?
It looks like it's perfect. That's the strangest thing about it. There's no chipped edges. There's no broken corners. But the sides are all smooth. Nothing is obviously visible.
Well, I guess today is as any good a day to die. Let's go ahead and see what we do.
Are you going to go first, or do I get to go first?
I mean, if you want to risk it.
I mean, I'm already right here, just like staring straight at it.
For the biscuits.
I probably would have like already like picked it up and like, what is this?
So this is. I mean, for Talken and Cargath, they can almost palm this thing, but for Airi and Skomira, it's
like a bowling ball.
Basically, yeah. It's enough that you kind of have to go, "What?"
Okay, so I guess I'll pick it up and just kind of like toss it.
Roll a d20. No modifiers. Roll your d20.
That's an 18.
18.
I like my dice, and apparently my dice like me. Hopefully.
You hear this darts come shooting out of holes that you wouldn't have been able to see in the rock. Very tiny, pinpoint, arrow-like darts. Everybody make a dexterity save. D20, dexterity modifier.
Nat 20!
15.
15. 5. Talken.
That's a 22 for me.
What'd you get?
6.
6.
Shield.
Talken, so Airi and Skomira, you see it coming, and you both just kind of like, Airi is just like dancing and twirling and spinning because she got a nat 20. It's just they're all just magically missing her. And you don't understand how she's doing it, but they're just just spinning in circles. Skomira goes, "Oh crap," and just lays flat on the floor, and they all go right over top. Cargath and Talken, partly hindered because of your size, you both take 4 points of damage.
Okay.
Okay. And Airi, you look at the rock, and you're so fascinated with it, you want to roll it again, and you go to attempt, and you are unable to pick it up.
I'm like, what?
It is too heavy for you to lift off the ground.
I'm like, this doesn't work.
I reach down and palm it and look at her and say, "No," and pick it up.
Yep, you are able to lift it.
But that's not fair.
You had your turn. I look down and where little darts are sticking out of me.
Fine. I go back to flipping my coin because this is kind of like my fidget spinner.
All right.
I'm going to follow suit.
Okay.
Give it a toss. 8.
8. You hear the same sound. Darts shoot out of the wall. Everybody give me a dexterity saving throw again. It fills the room. There's no chance any of you are not somehow in a position where, unless this succeeds.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
15.
Huh? 15. 8.
No, 18.
18.
Nice.
At least
Okay.
there was a teen added to the
I was going to say, all of you manage, you hear it and you go, you kind of have this idea, you know what that sound is now, and you all just lay as flat on the floor as possible, and then meanwhile, Airi's over here just still dancing, and it's just ding, 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 just missing by her. All right. One of them knocks her hat off, and she gets really irritated, picks it up and dusts it, puts it back on. All right.
All right. I'll roll next.
Okay.
Actually, I would want to try to pick it up again to be like, why does it not work?
All
Out
right.
of curiosity, I tried lifting it again.
You are unable. You try with all of your might. You will wear yourself out first.
I got 19.
19.
Yes.
You see these rocks as magic move on the far wall of the room, opening a path. And the rock that you had used laying there just crumbles to dust.
But she didn't get her turn.
I was saying, just pat the dwarf on the head. Sorry. You broke it.
Well, today was
Like,
not
why'd
my
you
day to
break
die.
it? She didn't get her turn.
There is now a path ahead of you. You can see it looking, it goes on for a little bit. It goes down a corridor and it opens into a room, but you can't quite see what's in that room. It's the distance is too great right now.
All right. Are there any traps in this corridor?
Give me a perception check.
16. Oh, wait a minute. With plus 4 for perception, that's 20.
No
Dirty
traps.
20.
No traps. Okay. Do you press on?
Yes.
All right.
I want to
Coming
find
down.
this fried fryer.
Coming down the corridor, you opens up, and the room is octagonal. It's not huge. And here's what you see. Looking from right to left, the walls are all the same black stone, some larger than others. There's piles of rock in some places. You see a cauldron, glowing green from within, red fire below. And in it, you can see kind of hanging out are some of the same flowers and plant elements you had seen above. Continuing looking on, dead in front of you, you see a humanoid knelt over with a green cloak up over his head, knelt on his knees. In front of him is a very crude statue with a deer skull and very large antlers in front of it. The eyes glow green, casting a faint glowing light onto the room. To his left is a table and a chair with books and more of the same potions and vegetables and things. And he's there just head down like this. That is what you see as you walk into the room.
I want to shoot the statue.
You want to shoot the statue?
I'm going to unlimber my blade.
Okay. As you begin to start moving and making noise, you see this head kind of just turn as if his ear is just acknowledging you in the room.
Are
He
you
stands up
friar?
and turns. And he turns and you see the same amulet around his neck. He's an older human male. Gray beard. Green cloak. His clothes are tattered and worn as if they've been snagged on many thorns and vines. His boots are very muddy. And he holds in his hand a glowing green mushroom.
Oh, dear
And he
Lord.
just looks at you. So I see my assistant succeeded. And he kind of gestures to the amulets hanging around 3 of your necks.
Okay. So I take that to mean that you are friar.
I am Friar Tomlinson. You have found me. You have made it past my traps. I suppose perhaps you are strong enough after all to help me with my little problem that I have here.
Which is...
I am being trapped here against my will.
By who?
By what?
By the fairy.
They
They
say that
conjure
you're
the
trying
magic
to
that
hurt
keeps
them.
me here. I'm sorry?
But they say that you are hurting them on purpose.
Oh, an old man such as me hurting them? I feel I'm very outnumbered here. And you see, and he looks up at you. He just gets this smile. I'm not convincing you, am I?
No.
No.
You pray before the black antlers of misfortune.
If you are here, oh, that means you made it past their guards. Perhaps enough of them are dead now that I can take the power. It's mine, magic of these woods. I was a much younger man when I came here, but you see, time passes slower here. My beard was shorter back then.
I don't really care about your facial hair.
No, I don't suppose you would, demon.
Did your assistant that sent us here know of your intentions?
Well,
Of course she did.
you aren't the first person to see me. And if you've made it here, that means their guards are dead. Which means I just need to remove you. And he takes a step back. And you see him pull back, and he begins muttering to himself. Roll for initiative.
16.
Well, I got
Dirty
that 3 out of the way early. You know.
All right.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Cargath, what do you got?
Dirty 20.
Okay. Airi.
19.
Okay. Skomira.
3.
3. And Talken.
16.
16. Magnificent. All right. So the order is Cargath, Airi, Talken, Friar Tomlinson, and then Skomira. All right. Cargath, what's your move?
I'm going to cast Divine Favor on myself.
Cast Divine Favor on yourself. All right. So you get an extra 1d4 damage.
Mm-hmm.
For the duration. It basically lasts for 1 minute, so essentially 1 turn.
Yep.
Okay. So if you hit, it's an extra 1d4 radiant damage.
Correct. It's a big if sometimes.
All right. Let's see what you got. So are you coming in with the great sword?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, what you got?
$23.
What is it?
23.
23 hits. Give me damage with an extra 1d4.
I would hope a 23
Roll
hit.
a 2, re-rolling. It's extra 1d4, right?
Extra 1d4.
Couldn't ask for more if I wanted. All right, so it's a total of 11, 13, 17 points of damage.
17 points of damage. All right. You've knocked him back a few steps, but he just locks eyes with you and just continues muttering to himself an incantation. Okay. And we have Airi.
Okay, I'm going to do crossbow at him.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a dirty 20 to hit.
That hits. Give me damage.
Oh. 12.
12. Okay. All right. Talken, what you got?
Okay. I will circle around the left side, shield raised.
Okay. So you're going to come around this side of him or this side of him?
That side. That's my left, I guess.
Okay. Shields up?
Yep.
Okay. And are you going to bash him with it or just guard?
I'll attempt to bash him with it.
Okay. All right. Roll to hit.
All right. 18.
18. 18 hits. Damage is 1d6 plus 1.
A d6, okay. I rolled a 1, so plus 1 is 2.
2 points of damage. All right.
A little better than 0.
It is
He
better
moves
than
a
0.
step back. You can't understand the words that he's saying. You're a little busy trying to attack him. But when he looks eyes at you, you see his features begin to change. His shoulders pop, his back starts to stretch.
He wild shapes himself. As his clothes rip off of him, the only thing left strapped around him is his cloak, into an enormous bear. And he just lets out this wicked growl.
I'm
But that
literally.
is-
He does that. I'm like, and you call me a demon?
And that is his. That's his action.
It's because you look like a demon. That looks like a bear.
All right.
Yeah, but I don't change like that.
Skomira,
So-
you're up.
Is he currently obscuring my view of the statue?
Because she was originally trying to shoot the statue.
You would have to move up closer. Yeah, you'd have to come around like this way, kind of come over like straight
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah, move
and
me over
keep
there.
a clear line of sight.
Move me over there if he's blocking my view.
Okay. Yeah, you've got the movement for it.
Face plant.
All right.
That's actual rocks on the ground, so it's, setting these minis down is not easy. Go ahead.
So I'm aiming for the statue.
Okay.
13 plus my proficiency is 2, so 15.
15. The arrow hits, and it chips off a section of the skull, but no damage.
Okay.
No change to the statue itself. It just like you chipped off a section of the deer skull.
Okay.
All right. We are back at top of the round. Cargath.
Strike again.
Okay.
16.
16 hits. Give me damage.
I'll take it.
I don't get the 1d4 this round, right?
No, it would have worn off by now.
Yep. I thought so. I just want to make sure. So
It's a 1 minute time, so yeah, I just call it one
Okay.
round.
9.
9 points of damage. All right. Okay, Airi, what's up?
I still have a clear shot with my crossbow to the big bear, right?
Yeah, you've got a clear shot right about there.
Okay, so I'm still gonna do my crossbow.
Okay, go ahead.
That is a 23.
23 hits.
Another 12.
Another 12. Okay.
And unlike Monopoly, I don't get to roll because it's doubles.
All right. Talken, you're up.
All right. I will attempt to stab with my lance.
Okay.
13.
13 hits. And the lance is 1d12.
I rolled a 7.
7. Okay. All right. His turn. He turns to Talken. And he has 2 attacks. He has a bite and a claw attack. He goes to swing his paw at you first. Big bear claw. 18. What's your armor class?
11.
All right. 18 hits. You take 1 point of damage.
Okay.
And then he's going to try to bite you. So he's hit you and he's kind of pulled you and he's going to try to sink his teeth in. And that's a 17, which hits. And that is 1 point of damage, you lucky, lucky son of a gun. Okay. That is... All right, that's his turn. Skomira.
Okay, so question. That cauldron that's next to him, is it secured down to anything?
No, it's just resting on top of burning logs.
So if
Yeah,
I
but-
kicked it, what's its radius?
I mean, if you kicked it over on him, it would land on him. It would land on like his waist and legs and knees and feet. But I'm going to make you... you're going to do a strength check to kick it over because it's full. And you're going to roll I'm going to make you roll to hit.
So is it cone damage or is it radiant damage?
Cone. Because
Cone.
it's being splashed.
Okay. I'll take that strength check.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, wrong side. 19 plus my strength modifier is 2, so 21. I told you I only roll high when it doesn't matter.
This is D&D. You kick it. It knocks over, no problem. But I'm still gonna make you roll to hit him with the splash of it to see how good you can kick it over. But how's your aim?
Please
Trash.
don't mess this up.
What is it?
Trash. 3.
3.
You
So
all over Talken.
you knock it over, but it basically, because of the strength of your kick, just kind of flips itself over immediately, and it just kind of just pulls out onto the ground below it. And
So, but if it's pulling out towards the bear in a radiant manner,
I'll give you this. He takes 1 point of damage because his feet are hot.
All right, hey, I'll take. I promised you entertainment. I didn't promise you good rolls. Like, yeah.
It's true.
Bad
Wait,
rolls are really the entertainment here. That's
Yeah,
the
I was
beauty.
gonna say.
All right, top of the round. Cargath, you're up.
All right, let me see here.
I'm gonna use the little metal ones.
I am going to lay on hands to myself
Okay.
for 5 points.
5 points. Okay, that leaves you 5 more. For those of you who aren't familiar with lay on hands, there is a pool that he can draw from. He can use up to 1 time per long rest, and that can be used on anybody. It doesn't have to be used on yourself.
Right.
Okay, so you're using 5 of the 10. Okay.
Yep.
All right, that's your turn. Airi.
Still using my crossbow.
All right, roll to hit.
Okay, so the baby metal dice don't like me.
Did you roll a natural 1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the baby
That's a crit. That is what we
like
call
me.
a critical failure.
Mhm.
And you go to do it, and it's that thing where like you pull the string back, and then the arrow just kind of
Well, I'm
just
with
kind
a
of falls off. You
crossbow,
like
so it's kind of like
oh, the crossbow. So it's just a complete misfire. Like you're trying to, and it just doesn't, and it just doing and just misses the bolt completely. The bolt is still resting on the end of your crossbow. The string just failed on you. We'll call it equipment failure. All right.
I will accept equipment failure than me like shooting an ally in the back.
Right? That's what I was-
Talken.
right there.
Talken, you're I'm feeling generous. That's why that didn't happen. Talken.
Your rogue is having some mechanical issues.
your roll.
Okay. Will the bear's head fit in the cauldron?
Probably yes.
I would like to try. And
So hang on. You're gonna use your move, just to be clear what we're doing here. You're gonna use your movement
Mhm.
to come over here. This is
Pick up the cauldron.
currently that is glued down, but that would be upside down. You're going to pick it up and jam it on the bear's head.
Yes.
Can
Sounds
I?
like a plan.
Let me think about it for a sec. I will let you do it. I need. Let's see, the cauldron's empty, so I would assume you could reasonably pick it up. So I won't make you do a strength check.
How
But
big
is
is
it
the
hot?
bear in relation to him?
They're realistically, he's hunched over. They're about the same size. Brown bears. Oh, you're not far off. It would be enough that you could. He may be a little bit taller than you at full height, but it'd be enough. Your arms would reach, to get it on his head. Let's say I'm going to make you do an attack roll
okay.
to see if you can slam this thing on the bear's head. I don't know to what end, but all right, that doesn't matter. This is
Well, if he
No
can't
modifiers.
see us, then we're not there.
Vision.
no modifiers. Just
All right.
That's how that works.
14.
So that's a success. You stick it in the bear's head. Suddenly you have this moment from Winnie the Pooh. Oh, bother. And he's trying to... I'm going to consider that like a grapple, and I'm going to give him a reaction roll to see if he just knocks it off or not. Let's see if... One. He's having trouble getting a grip on it. It's still wet from everything that was inside. It's not coming off. It's taking him a moment.
Would he take any damage, since I would assume the cauldron would still be really, really hot?
I mean, he could. It would be hot still. You're right, because it was on the fire for a while. I'll 2 points of damage off of 1d. I'll give a 1d4 for that. So
I was like, let the cauldron do some damage since I failed.
So he had a reaction like a grapple. So he failed to get it off. He's gonna spend his turn trying to get it off again. Roll the 2.
Yes.
It's stuck on his head.
I mean, we can go a few more rounds.
But here's the thing. He is moving around and thrashing around right now. So any ranged attacks at the moment are with disadvantage because he's a giant bear rolling on the ground trying to get this thing off. He's not a stable target.
I'm going to take one step back so I don't get caught in his flailing.
We already knew he wasn't stable.
Yeah.
So he's rolling around here. All right, and you're going to take a step back. All right, go ahead.
All right, first roll is a 10. Let me get my second one. 4.
Okay. So that is you failed to hit him. Yep. You almost hit Talken. If you'd rolled any lower, I would have made him roll for damage. Because he is line of sight to your ranged attack to a bear rolling on the ground. I'm gonna say this one might hit him in the leg. You might not have as lucky of a shot as Airi got earlier. All right. Okay. Cargath.
It's like Talken's our party member pincushion.
Now, Cargath, if you're doing your melee attack is not with disadvantage because of you are the same size, and he's still a bear. It's just with a ranged attack, you have a lot more variables. So I'm kind of going off physics here. It's going to be a little bit easier to hit him.
22.
22 hits. Give me damage.
Rerolling the 1. That puts me at 12.
12. Tell me how he dies.
All right. With the greatsword, I come in aiming just below that cauldron and clean cut it right off. Head and all. Let the cauldron roll.
As you separate the head and the body, it transforms back into the form of the old man that was before you. The head resumes and is now the severed head of the old man. The body, while grotesque, deformed, and blood, way more than should be for a human because he was still a bear as he began to blood out, just soaks the ground beneath you as this naked form of an old man is now laying on the ground. Before you have a chance to really react, the skull with the eyes that are glowing green, casting light into the room, gets super bright enough that your night vision, your dark vision shifts immediately back to day vision and then continues to get brighter, shatters completely, blinding light in the room. And all of you suddenly find yourselves back at the table in the Laughing Crow, as if no time had passed. Except you're not alone in the room. Looking around, you see women, various races that you recognize, elves and half-elves. And next to the table, on the ground, you see the robes of who was the assistant that had let you there, just pooled on the ground, just crumpled up with the amulet there. And standing over it is a very large dragonborn who kind of
It's fluffy.
does one of these. Looks at you, and you see this recognition cross his eyes, recognizing you.
I like you
Kind
better
of.
as Fluffy.
Kind of reaches down, cuts off a sack of gold, heavier than any of you can lift with one hand. Just maybe Kargath and Talken, but gold coins pull out onto the ground. He leans over, and with a voice you recognize as belonging to the Minotaur, says, I knew only you could prevent forest friars. And that is the end of the adventure.
I'm taking as much of that gold as I can get.
Dad joke
This entire
payoff.
adventure was getting to a dad joke.
Yes. 2 hours for a dad joke. You better believe it.
Hold on.
We'll call it 1,000 gold each. We'll call it 1,000 gold each.
I'll take that action.
Divide it out. We'll call it 1,000 gold pieces each. And that is it. Thank you guys for being a part of this and for playing. So now I'm going to tell you, each of you can open the extra letter because it didn't come into play during the
extra letter
game.
that says "Do not open."
Yep. You can now open it.
All right, sit over here. Let me grab it quick.
There's a handwritten character sheet. If any of you had died during the adventure, the forest would have reclaimed the bodies that you knew and brought you back in the form of wildlife. Our 2 orcs would come back as bears. Our tiefling, who was horned, would come back as an elk. And the dwarf would come back as a boar.
I could have charged through anything.
And you would have, and the kicker is, you would have retained your mind, but not your voice. You would have had no verbal way to communicate with the others. You would have had to find another way. If you
would have run and y'all would have figured it out. Like,
if you had failed and messed up everything with the siren, it was an instant death. Wow. That siren's hit points were higher than any of you could have damaged in 10 turns. Sirens are like a level 10 creature. That was deliberate. I deliberately wanted to put something in to cause this event because you either would find it out when you went to the camp where the refugees were, or you would have found it out when you. That would have been your first clue. So that was my golden plan going into it.
We've got one viewer that loves your dad joke.
Yes, the comments I can see. I think I may have it turned off for you guys on my end on the screen at least. The comments have been going great all this time. So I want to thank everybody who did watch now in the future. We are Geek News Now. Everybody here, once again, I want to introduce everybody. So playing the role of Cargath the Paladin is David with the social media team. Playing the role of there we go. Playing the role of Airi, our Tiefling Pirate Rogue, is Becky, also known as Wolf Angel on GNN Gaming on Twitch. With the writing team, we have Kat, who played Skomira, our Dwarven Ranger. And with our AV team and also the host of Cam in Focus right here on YouTube is Talken, Cameron. All you guys, I want to thank you for being a part of this. This was fun. This is a good time. Maybe we'll do this again in the future. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media. I'm going to play the commercial once again at the end as a way to finish out the show, and then we'll kill it. Just to let everybody know again what we have and all of our partners and friends. Check us out on geeknewsnow.net and on Facebook. So thank you guys for playing along, and have a good night.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
Are you looking for a new energy drink balanced for gaming, mental alertness with no crash after? Go on over to root-users.com. Root is an energy drink for gamers by gamers, using a mix of vitamins and vegetable roots with only 64 milligrams of added caffeine. Root gives you the performance boost you need. Go on over to root-users.com, use promo code GNN20, and receive 20% off your entire order. root-users.com. Game on. Metallic Dice Games. Since 2014, this family-owned business has been providing not just metallic dice sets for your favorite tabletop games, but also gemstone, acrylic, and glow-in-the-dark dice. In fact, a couple of players in tonight's game, as well as tonight's Dungeon Master, are using dice from Metallic Dice Games. Head on over to metallicdicegames.com. Use promo code GNN to receive 10% off your entire order site-wide. metallicdicegames.com. Ripped Apparel, selling unique, limited edition pop culture designs every day on t-shirts, hoodies, posters, and more. Each design lives for only 36 hours. Head on over to rippedapparel.com today, because the design you want may be gone tomorrow. Use promo code GNN10 for 10% off your order. rippedapparel.com. Geek News Now is proud to announce our partnership with HumbleBundle.com. Humble Bundle sells games, software, and other digital content, with a mission to support charity while providing awesome content to customers at great prices. With a pay-what-you-want flexible pricing plan, as well as charity contributions, you can get your favorite content at great prices and also do some good in this mixed-up world. Follow the link in the description to head over to our partnership site with Humble Bundle. All products purchased through our link benefit the Child's Play charity. Child's Play is a charitable organization that donates toys and games to children's hospitals worldwide. It was founded in 2003 by Mike Krahulik and Jerry Holkins, authors of the popular video game-related webcomic Penny Arcade. The charity is seen as a way to refute mainstream media's perception of gamers as violent and antisocial, having raised over $44.5 million since its inception. Follow the link to see what good we can all do together. Be sure to check out all of our content on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. Even check out our podcast happening over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and Podbean. And of course, head on over to our website at geeknewsnow.net for up-to-date articles, breaking news, and new content daily. Real geek news, no clickbait, no fluff. Geek News Now, powered by the fans.